Today's review is for Incision, which is quite possibly one of the hardest FPSs I've played in a very long time. And while this game may be an acquired taste, if your taste is for lots and lots of pain and challenge, this game could definitely be for you. Incision begins with us unwittingly unleashing a rust amalgamation kind of god creature that is threatening to consume everything into a combination of rust, metal, and blood. And in order to save whoever is left, we're going to be doing a whole lot of shooting. I love the art style and aesthetic of this game, going for kind of like a late PlayStation 1, very dark and gritty, emphasis on the dark art style. And in this one, you'll be going through 3 episodes full of a variety of enemies, environments, and more. Now, as I said in the stinker, this game is very difficult. I'm going to show you the difficulty selector screen here. Pro tip, do not choose difficulty level 5. This is not a case of a game being easy, normal, hard, and expert. It's basically hard, hard, harder, very hard, and are you a masochist difficulty. And this kind of gets at some of the major aspects of Incision. This was a game that was clearly designed as a love letter for 90s shooters. So expect a lot of high-speed running, especially if you make sure to turn on auto run, which, trust me, is going to be a very important defensive tool in a few seconds. And you'll be going through these levels with a variety of weapons. Each weapon has a different alt fire that basically changes the properties of it in a way that's similar to that of something like Painkiller. That the primary and secondary are essentially 2 completely different functions. Your Magnum, as your default weapon, does a surprising amount of damage, but if you get good at the gun flipping, you can, I think, turn that into double or even quad damage. I forget the hint that came with it. And each one of these weapons will be used to wide effect. Now, this is not a case of something like Doom Eternal, where different weapons will do different kinds of damage, and you'll have to make use of them. Here, it's all just damage, damage, damage. And as an interesting twist, this game does not feature locational damage. So, headshots do nothing. Just get as much lead or explosion on the enemy if you want to see them dead. The level design here is going for very wide, very interesting environments. It reminds me in this case of something like Dusk, that each level and by extension each episode is its own unique theme, its own unique style, with of course a variety of set pieces, and the set pieces in this game are really well done. As you get further in, especially into episode 2, there are just some very interesting and very dastardly arenas that you're going to have to fight your way through and out of. The enemy variety is also very wide. While there are going to be some standard enemies who will be making themselves known in just about every level, the episodes will introduce new advanced kind of like elite class enemies, and as a bonus, this game features its own version of the Marauder fight from Doom Eternal, complete with you having to get good at parrying if you want to fight them. And it kind of takes us to where this game is going to really, I think, either win or lose a lot of people. As I said, this is a hard game. This is not just a hard game, this is Josh hard difficulty. I could not play this on the highest difficulty, and I would highly suggest, if you value your time, sanity, and blood pressure, that you don't do that. You see, the difficulties in this game affect the enemy's speed, or their projectile speed, and the amount of damage they do. Everything else is standard across all difficulties. Now, you're not dealing with super advanced AI. If it's a ranged enemy, it's going to stay at range and shoot you. If it's a melee enemy, it's going to chase you down like someone hopped up on 50 energy drinks. However, damage in this game is fast and furious. You have no iframes or super armor. You take a hit from 5 sources, you're most likely going to die, especially on the higher difficulties. And you do not have any kind of like push forward combat elements here. There's no regenerating health, there's no health on kills. Your only source of health will be from enemy drops, which are very rare, and from the health pickups that are scattered around. You do get a live system. Each level you'll start with 0 lives, and you'll be able to find multiple ones either through the general play or through secrets. And yes, this is going to be a game where you're going to be making use of all of them in some cases, especially when you get to the boss fights. So the issues that I have with Incision, I can kind of categorize them into like quality of life and UI UX, and just the general gameplay. And I won't start with the UI UX. The game, I think by choice, is lacking a lot of creature comforts and quality of life features that we really have seen from most FPSs released today. So, in no particular order, there is no brightness setting. So yes, the game is going to be always looking dark with like one of the world's worst flashlights to illuminate the area. There is also no saving in between missions. Not even a quick save, also no temp saving. So if you have to leave a mission or you die at like the very last battle, guess what? You're going all the way back to the start. And these missions can get quite long. The main reason, of course, is again the aggressiveness and the challenge of fighting. Some of these enemies can easily pick you off from way far away. In the first level, I was being sniped at by enemies that were so far away, the game didn't even render them on the screen, and they were still able to shoot me from that distance. And I would have appreciated some kind of weapon wheel or an easier way to swap to weapons, as you get quite a lot of them, and unless you are really good at rapid mouse wheel scrolling or kind of stretching your fingers out to hit all the keys, it's going to be hard to kind of get to the weapon you want in the thick of a very difficult battle. And while the game says that you can play either very fast or very slow, I cannot imagine most people ever playing this game at super high speed, especially on the 4th or 5th difficulty level. It's just too risky. And the game loves to hide enemies around corners or in dark rooms that you walk in and you're immediately ambushed. And in a lot of cases, that can be a death. The interesting aspect of this game is the mix between range and melee. You have this kind of giant scythe knife that is your melee weapon, while you can use it as its own standalone. Its primary function is for a super heavy attack. Instead of hitting the kick command, which is Q, you can hold it down to unleash a sharp hit. This is often enough to kill small to medium enemies, and if you've done enough damage to kind of like the heavier class enemies, it can even take them out. It is so important that primary switches can only be hit by it, and there are specific enemy types who are only weak to the blade move. So it is a required element, and again, it gets at what this game wants you to be, and that is very aggressive, very offensively focused. But I wish that there was a greater reward for it other than quick kills. This would definitely be a game that I think that with just like a few more creature comforts here, could be a lot more approachable for most people. I would have loved to like be able to get health back upon performing a successful like melee hit. When you kill enemies, it does give you blood, which is used for your kind of special alien weapon that you'll get near the end of episode 1 that will stick with you. And the alien weapon is interesting, but it can be a little bit hard to aim again, especially considering how fast you need to move. Now with the difficulty, a lot of this really comes down again to just how fast everything is going. The footage you're seeing should be on the 4th of the 5 difficulties. As I said, number 5 that I started on was just beyond what I could handle. And even at this, it can be a bit hard to dodge attacks. There were some enemies that it just didn't even seem possible to dodge the attack, even with me running or kind of circle strafing at full speed. There's a boss fight in episode 2 that was just very mean in that respect. And it is so easy to die in this one. And the enemies, outside of hitting them with your super heavy slash, are a bit on the spongier side. As I said, there is no locational damage, so there's no weak points, there's no reward for getting precise shots. And Incision is going to be a very odd game. There's going to be a subsection of people who will play this and will probably declare it as one of their all-time favorite FPSs, And there's going to be people who are going to play this, probably get 1, maybe 1.5 levels in, and then never want to touch this game ever again. It is a little bit on the shorter side. Most of the maps will average, if you know what you're doing, maybe 10 to 20 minutes if you're kind of keeping going and you're not, of course, losing a lot of lives. But given the fact that it's so hard to see, and even with that flashlight in a dark area, you can maybe see 5 to 10 feet out, it is very easy to miss where you're supposed to go, or especially any secrets. And this game loves to throw a switch or a button that will activate something that you will have no idea what it actually activated or where, because you can't see or hear where it's coming from. This one is definitely an interesting one to review. When I first started playing it, I did not like it, and after I switched to difficulty 4, it did feel a little bit better. And I would suggest that for anyone who's interested in playing this one, whatever difficulty you are most comfortable at playing an FPS, go one below that, and you will probably get a fair challenge for your level. So, as I said, if you are a fan of very challenging FPSs with some amazing set piece and ambiance, I would give this one a play. But if you're someone who likes your games on the easier side or looking for a more relaxing time running and gunning, then this is definitely not going to be the game for you. Incision was played, I believe, with a press key provided by the developer. You only took at your game for a future stream does not involve breakneck shooting or cozy shooting. Please get in touch. If you did play this one as well, I'm really curious what you thought of it and what difficulty did you play it on. And that's going to do it for this review, and I'll see everyone for another one coming real soon. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.